I've been there. I spent years in a toxic, controlling environment myself. And when I came out of it, I did what most people do. I judged myself for having been in it, for having stayed, for having become someone I didn't fully recognize anymore. And it took me a while to understand that that person I became to survive that situation was not my failure. She was my genius. And here's also what I know about you. You might have been calling it a weakness. The fact that you stayed, the fact that you shrunk, the fact that you became someone quieter, smaller, more careful than you actually are. What if that was never weakness? What if surviving was one of the most brilliant things you have ever done? And what if the judgment you are carrying around about it is the very thing keeping you stuck in it? In this video, we're going to talk about your survival identity, what it is, why it was genius, and how to finally let go without losing the most powerful parts of yourself in the process. Because those parts, you're going to need them. And then I'm going to give you 5 shifts for flipping this mindset. Let's go. I've had nearly 20 years of sitting across from people who had survived hard environments, hard relationships, hard seasons, who came out the other side still dragging the weight of it with them. Not because they were weak, but because nobody ever told them what I'm about to tell you. If you have left something toxic, a relationship, a job, a group, a family dynamic, and you're still feeling stuck, still can't quite let yourself be seen or take action, stay with me. I genuinely and deeply applaud your strength in leaving. And that comes from someone who has done the same. I am not here to minimize the strength it took to walk out the door. I'm just inviting you to see something you may have missed on the way out. You were never wrong. You were never broken. You were strong and potent, and you always have been. If you are quietly judging yourself for having needed to survive in the first place, this especially is for you. Let's talk about survival mode. When we talk about survival mode, we usually talk about it like it's a malfunction, like something went wrong, like you broke somehow and now you're stuck operating from a lesser damaged version of yourself. I want to completely undo that idea today. A survival identity is not a malfunction. It's a creation. Something you built, consciously or not, in response to an environment that required you to be a certain way in order to be safe, in order to get through. And here's what building that required. It required you to read a room with precision, to understand what people needed to see or hear to keep the peace, to know when to step back, when to pull forward, to hide things that would get you cut down, and to show the things that would keep you safe. That is not weakness. That is strategy. That is emotional intelligence. And that is a level of human understanding that most people spend years trying to develop. And you already have it. You built it under pressure, which makes it more impressive, not less. We are so quick to look at what we lost in those environments. And we did lose things. That is real. But we rarely stop to acknowledge what we built and developed. Acknowledgement is not optional. It is the beginning of everything. Here's the thing that nobody is talking about when it comes to survival identities. We spend so much time trying to get rid of them, trying to shed the person we became, trying to outrun her or bury her or convince ourselves she never existed. And it doesn't work because you cannot release what you are judging. Judging it keeps it close, real, and fresh. I have never seen a client judge themselves into change. When you look at your survival identity as a failure, as proof that you were weak or naive or somehow less than, You keep it locked to you. Judgment is not a release mechanism. Judgment is a chain. And here is the energetic truth of it. What you resist persists. What you fight, you feed. The survival identity you are trying so hard to get away from gets stronger every time you decide it was a mistake. Your energy is valuable. Every drop spent in judgment is a drop not going toward your healing, your creation, and your life. The path out is not through shame. The path out is through recognition and acknowledgement. Seeing it clearly, seeing what it cost you and what it gave you, and then being able to choose which parts you carry forward and which parts you consciously put down. That is not toxic positivity. That is not pretending the hard thing wasn't hard. This is the actual mechanism of letting it go. Now here we go. 5 shifts to be the brilliance of you. Shift number 5. Name it, see it. Before you can let go of the survival identity, you have to see it clearly, without the shame spiral attached. Write it down. Who did you have to be in that environment to survive it? Not who you wished you were, not who you are now, but who did you have to be then? Maybe you had to be invisible, endlessly agreeable, the one who never needed anything, never had ideas worth sharing, never took up too much space. Were you the peacekeeper, the people pleaser, the one who kept quiet so nobody got hurt? Write it down. Get specific, not to claim it, just to finally see it. And when you write it, notice the judgment that comes up. The voice that says, you should have been stronger or smarter or left sooner. That voice is not the truth. Tell it to shut up. That voice is the judgment chain wrapping itself tighter. See the identity. Acknowledge it fully. Release the judgment. Shift number 4. Find the tactician. Look at what you wrote. Look at who you had to be. And ask yourself, what did being that person actually require of me? Because this is where it gets interesting. To be invisible in a volatile environment, you had to read energy with extraordinary precision. To be endlessly agreeable, you had to understand what people needed and deliver it under pressure. To never stand out, you had to constantly take the temperature of a room and calibrate it in real time. That is emotional intelligence. That is situational awareness. The ability to influence outcomes by understanding people, what drives them, what threatens them, what they need to feel safe. Those are not just survival skills. Those are life skills, leadership skills, business skills. You didn't just survive. You built a toolkit most people would pay good money to have. And you built it under fire. Ask yourself, what core skills did my survival identity require me to build? Write those separately. Those are yours, and those come with you. Shift number 3, see yourself clearly. I want to tell you about a client of mine. She had spent years inside a high-influence group, an environment where she was told what to do, how to think, how to be, how to act. And she was judged and mistreated when she showed anything outside of what was expected. When she left and came to me to help her build her business, she was stuck. Couldn't take action, couldn't let herself be seen. Every time she was about to do something, she pulled back at the last second. From the outside, it looked like fear or lack of confidence or laziness. But when we dug into her survival identity, something cracked open. Inside the group, she could always spot the brilliant ideas. She just hid them. Because if she shared them with anybody, they would get taken or she would get cut down. That ability to spot and have brilliant ideas, that is market insight. Knowing what to create, what to sell, and how to position it. It's one of the hardest things to teach in business, and she already had it. She had just been using it to stay safe instead of to build. She had also learned to regulate how much she stood out by reading the energy of the room, knowing when to push and when to pull back so she didn't get targeted. In business, that is reading your audience, knowing when your market is warm, and with ethical influence built on a genuine understanding of how people work. She was not broken. She was the most prepared person in the room. She just couldn't see it because she was too busy judging herself for having been in the group at all. Once we stripped the judgment and acknowledged the core of her business started moving. She trusted her ideas. She trusted her new environment. The survival identity didn't ruin her. It equipped her. And the same is true for you. Shift number 2, release the limits. The survival identity has 2 parts, and this distinction matters. There's the limitation, the shrinking, the hiding, the silence, the smallness, the not enough. That part was born from the specific threat of that specific environment. It does not serve you anymore, and it was never you really to begin with. And then there is the core, the intuition, the strategy, the emotional intelligence, the ability to read people's situations, energy with precision. That part is you. You don't have to reinvent yourself from scratch or pretend the hard thing didn't shape you. You just get to use those same core elements, the same intelligence, the same awareness, the same potency in service of creating your life instead of just surviving it. Ask yourself, what is the limitation I am ready to put down? And what is the core strength underneath it that I am acknowledging and taking with me? 2 different things. Treat them that way. Shift number 1, drop the judgment. Drop the judgment. Break the chain. The judgment you carry about your survival identity, about having needed it, about who you became, about how long you stayed. It is not protecting you from repeating the pattern. It's keeping you in it. Every day you decide that what you did to survive makes you less, you hand your energy to the very thing you are trying to leave behind. You let the environment that tried to diminish you continue to diminish you, just from the inside now instead of the outside. Here's what I know after nearly 20 years of this work. The people who move forward the fastest are not the ones hardest on themselves. They are the ones who can look at what they survived clearly, honestly, without flinching and say, I did what I had to do. It was brilliant. It cost me things, and I am taking the best of me forward. That is not letting yourself off the hook. That is refusing to let what tried to break you finish the job. What would change if you stopped treating your survival as something to be ashamed of? Live from that answer. I told you at the beginning that I have been there, and I mean every single word. I carried the judgment of my own survival identity longer than I needed to. Kept trying to outrun the person I had become instead of stopping long enough to truly see her. And when I finally did, when I looked at her clearly and acknowledged not just what she cost me, but what she built in me, everything shifted. She was not my failure. She was my foundation. The coaching work I do now, the ability to read what is underneath what people are saying, finding the strength inside someone's story that has decided that makes them broken, that all came from her. I didn't leave her behind. I gave her a better job, a job I love. And that's what I desire for you. Not to erase who you had to be, not to be ashamed of what it took to get through, but to look at her, really look, and acknowledge the brilliant, strategic, potent human being who built something extraordinary under impossible conditions. And then take her with you. Celebrate her. Acknowledge her. Nurture her. You were born of fire, my friend. And from fire, some of the most brilliant, shiny, potent things in existence are born. You were never weak for surviving. You're brilliant. If this is work you want to go deeper on, I would love to support you. The door is always open at Donnielle.com. And if this video landed for you, please share it with someone in your life who is carrying this weight right now and they need to hear that they were never broken. Please like and subscribe. It really helps a growing channel like mine, and we are here multiple times a week, and I have some fun stuff coming. And until we play again, my friend, keep creating a life that inspires you every single day to live it. I'll see you soon.